Okay, it's finally happened, folks. It finally happened. The best video game movie of all time, and it's called Ready Player One. So, hi, welcome to End Credit Reviews on episode of After the Credits on End Credit Reviews. This is Tyler from End Credit Reviews.
And Luke back in the car, but not in the back seat, in the passenger seat.
Yep, and we just saw Ready Player One. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ready Player One is based off a book of the same name.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm trying to remember what else about it, but I never really read the book, and neither has Luke. And it's been out for, like...
a few years, I think.
Was it 2010 it was published?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And basically, this was made by Steven Spielberg, and it's been a while since I've seen a Steven Spielberg movie in theaters. The last time was about 10 years ago, and that was that really not very good fourth Indiana Jones movie with the nuking of the fridge and Shia LaBeouf's character swinging on vines.
Monkeys.
Yeah, and that really bad-looking CGI alien.
Yeah.
Which is like, what? And that... But anyway, I mean, I think this is definitely one of his better ones, I would say.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's not on par with Jurassic Park or Schindler's List, which I think are his two best movies. But this is pretty good. I'll definitely take this any day over the fourth Indiana Jones movie or that Day the Earth Stood Still. I mean, not that Day the Earth Stood Still. I know that's a terrible one, but I'm talking about the War of the Worlds movie. Sorry.
With Tom Cruise?
Yeah, it had its moments, but this one is better. So anyway, I guess in the not too distant future, we have our main character name. Who is it again?
Wade Watts.
Wade Watts. Of course, that's not his real name in character name.
Played by Ty Sheridan.
Yeah, Ty Sheridan. You probably know him best as playing Cyclops now in the X-Men movies. Mm-hmm. And pretty much him and millions of other people get plugged into a virtual reality system known as the Oasis. Now, the Oasis is a big, huge virtual reality system which people can create their own avatars, basically their own kind of skins and how they look like, and they can have fun and compete against each other in different types of games and situations. However, there was the creator of the Oasis, and what was his name again?
James Halliday?
Yeah, James Halliday, and he was played by he was in Bridge of Spies.
Yeah, he works for Spielberg. He also played the BFG in the BFG.
Doom reference?
No. No, different BFG.
Yeah, I'd rather have that than... Yeah, BFG was not very good.
Wait, that's not his last movie, was it? No, it was...
No, it was The Post, I think?
Yeah, The Post.
But what's weird is that this movie was filmed before The Post, and The Post was kind of...
He was working on, like, post-production on this. At the same time, he was filming and editing The Post. I mean, he did that with Jurassic Park and
Schindler's List,
too, so he's like a crazy dude.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty interesting. Like, I'm working on this big movie, but, I want this movie here done now, so... But I mean, the thing is that it was more practical if you think about it, because The Post is kind of a smaller movie compared to this one.
And this had a lot of CG work to do.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But, again, I think how people complain about the Star Wars prequels and even some other movies, like I think Van Helsing, people complain like, oh, it's CG overload and that. But
the exception with this movie is
it's a video game, so it makes sense in that. So pretty much the creator of the Oasis died, and thus he left 3 keys for people to find the basic Easter egg, and whoever finds this Easter egg with these 3 keys can have access and the ownership of the Oasis. Now basically it's up to our main character and other people are trying to save the Oasis from this evil corporation, the IOI, was it?
Yeah, I think it's like Interactive Online Industries, I think.
It's kind of reference to like 101 kind of code and gaming. And also computer programming. And the head of his organization is played by...
Ben Mendelsohn? I think that's his name.
Okay. You get IMDb up so we could reference stuff. I should have asked you this before. And yeah, you probably know him best as the villain from Rogue One, as well as he was in The Dark Knight Rises as Daggett. In fact, I don't know if you saw the video of mine, but I did this video compilation where I showed the scene where he met Darth Vader in Rogue One, and I synced it up with the audio from The Dark Knight Rises, where he plays Daggett, and Darth Vader's voice is Bane's.
Wow.
Because those scenes are almost identical if you think about it.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, the IOI Corporation, I swear, it's like the unholy union of GameStop and EA Games together to just ultimately rip people off.
It did feel like the vilified version of like EA or Activision or Ubisoft. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say Ubisoft, but like some of the really big corporations that like.
Yeah,
have
definitely
crappy
EA.
stuff. EA especially.
Yeah, definitely. Like EA games challenge everything. Used to be. Now it's EA games charge everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's over, Anakin. I purchased the high ground. Yeah, I mean, all right. So basically, he meets this other woman, the
Artemis?
Oasis. Yeah, Artemis. That's her, name. I think it's her name, real name in the movie is Samantha, played by Olivia Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And basically, there's other characters he meets as well. And yeah, I gotta say that this was a pretty fun movie. It's kind of like that kind of movie you wish you could make when you were a kid, with all these fictional characters to kind of fight and team up against. It's a lot of fun, I gotta say. But it's not just a full fun ride. There's also some story and some character, which is pretty good. But what do you think of the main characters, Luke?
I thought they were all really likable. I like Ben Mendelsohn he always plays villain, so I think he's great as villain.
Yeah, he's pretty much Gary Oldman in the 90s by this point.
Pretty much, yeah. Ty Sheridan, I like I know he started with kind of like some indie movies, and then he went to X-Men, and now he's in bigger stuff, so I think he's really good. And then Olivia Cook, I know, has been in quite a bit. I think she was in some TV, but...
It's funny, as I think I saw her from somewhere, maybe, but I don't know, nothing's ringing the bell. Like, of course, I know the villain in the movie has been some big stuff in that. Also, we should mention T.J. Miller is in the movie as this, one of the other villains in the film. And I guess he plays as, like, an evil gamer who's, like, really good at stuff. And his one-liners were pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you hire T.J. Miller for, is to give some good comedy relief.
I know this sounds a little bit controversial, but I actually thought T.J. Miller's one-liners were funnier in this movie than they were in Deadpool.
Yeah, I think they were pretty good.
Which, I don't know, I think maybe... That was kind of weird if you think about it. But yeah, I mean, actually... Yeah, that's kind of weird for me to say that. But anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. We had this one Avatar character who's... well, not the James Cameron one, of course. This is way better, by the way.
Yeah.
What was her name again?
Artemis?
No, not Artemis.
Oh.
The other one that we thought was like a guy, but it turned to be...
I didn't even know how to say that. They didn't even say
Arch,
it in the movie.
I think it is.
It's Aech.
Okay, played by Lena...
I don't know who that is. Wait.
Something like that. And basically, her real name in the real world is Helen, but I think her father called her H or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Like...
I think it's pronounced H. I think that's how you say that.
Okay, yeah. But also in this movie, if we go back to like the creator in the movie, the guy who created the Oasis, he was that Russian and Bridge of Spies.
Mark Rylance is his name.
Yeah, that was a good one. But also, I think a lot of people don't know this, but originally Gene Wilder, who played Willy Wonka and Willy Wonka from the Chocolate Factory. Sorry, I butchered that up. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. From the 70s, and he originally was supposed to play that character. However, sadly, Gene Wilder died before production could begin, so thus they had Mark Rylance play him as well. So I just thought that was kind of interesting and made sense because the first trailer was the whole Pure Imagination song from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
And he's from Dunkirk. He was the guy on the boat with the kid.
Oh yeah, that's true in that. And he also, I know, he played the BFG, but this is way better than the BFG.
I think it's Spielberg's best movie in a while.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think this was good, but also I thought Bridge of Spies was good in its own way.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, that was a good one, but I think I would like to say that there are certain movies that are good in their own way. Like, for example, this is good because it's more, it's fun and entertaining and action-packed. And also a movie like Bridge of Spies, which is more kind of slow and serious, but that's good in its own way. So movies can be good in certain ways.
Spielberg has two sides. He does the serious dramas like Lincoln and Schindler's List. Yeah. And then his other side is the fun action and then like E.T. and that kind of stuff. And now I feel like his career is going back that way with this and Indy 5.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, speaking of, good thing you mentioned, because what's interesting is that Steven Spielberg was good friends with with Stanley Kubrick, and basically, I guess they try to collaborate together at one point. And I guess Stanley Kubrick kind of wished he could be more fun like Spielberg, and Spielberg kind of wished he could be more serious like Stanley Kubrick. And the reason why we bring him up is mainly because in this movie there's a part where they're looking for one of the keys, and they're in The Shining,
Yeah,
the movie The
go into
Shining.
The Shining. It's a pretty cool scene.
Yeah, they did a great job just looking at all the filming locations and getting the footage from the movie and all the funny references, which I'm like, this is so good. I'm happy that
running through the shrub maze and there's like a giant axe.
Yeah, and then also the twins and the blood coming out of the elevator. That was so good. Oh, but yeah, I mean, also Simon Pegg's in this movie.
Oh yeah, he played Ogden Morrow, who is, I think, it felt like the Social Network with the two creator, like the MySpace creator and the Facebook creator, like going at each other. That's what it felt like when they split. Like it felt like that kind of.
Wait, I don't
friendship.
think MySpace and Facebook, the guys, I don't think they collaborate. I think it was.
No, I mean they didn't have a falling out, and then like one.
Well,
created
some people
MySpace.
from Facebook did, but I thought MySpace was first.
Oh, okay.
I thought, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but that'd be funny if that happened, but I don't think so. But, yeah, I mean, Simon Pegg in this movie, he's not in it too much. He usually plays the younger self of his character in the movie. But yeah, I mean, I think right now we should talk about the whole hodgepodge of pop culture references.
Yeah.
And it's not cringy pop culture references like you see in, like, Disaster Movie where they reference some celebrity thing that no one's going to get in 20 years.
Yeah.
This is basically things that we so love as us geeks in general. Like, pretty much we see in this whole race, we see the DeLorean from Back to the Future. We see the motorcycle from Akira, was it?
Yeah.
And we also see the T-Rex from Jurassic Park and King Kong show up.
Yeah, and that's like the first half an hour.
Yeah, and it's funny is that I thought the CG on King Kong looked a little bit better than the King Kong in Kong Skull Island in certain ways. But again, like the CG in this movie, we don't really judge how realistic it is because it's in a video game, so it makes sense that nothing looks super authentically realistic. We're not like nitpicking that stuff. But I just love how there's certain avatars of video game characters. We see Harley Quinn from the Batman Arkham games. We see, what's her name from Overwatch?
Oh, I can't think of it.
The
right
one with
now.
the glass.
I'll think of it. Oh, Tracer.
Yeah, that one. And then, of course, we have some Street Fighter characters, and I gotta say my favorite one with the certain fictional characters, we see Goro from Mortal Kombat grabs one of the characters, takes him in a secret room, and does a surprise thing. We see a xenomorph from Alien pop out of the chest.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
Oh yeah, and then Beetlejuice is in it too.
And I saw like the Ninja Turtles, the Battletoads of all things.
Yeah, but with the Ninja Turtles, they were more the newer ones.
They were the Michael Bay produced like newer versions.
I think they did that because it was easier to acquire those and
The rights, well,
not
the
just
rights are
that,
the same.
but they were CG'd already.
Yeah, the
and
character
the
models existed.
Yeah, the 90s ones, I mean, they technically exist as animatronics, but I guess they're not in a computer program in a way, and they're briefly on screen in that. And of course, with video games besides that, we also have the soldiers from Halo, and what was it? Oh yeah, and of course, we can't forget the Iron Giant.
Yeah, he's probably the best character in it, even though he doesn't speak.
Yeah, I just love that fact of just seeing the Iron Giant. I rewatched that movie last weekend, and it's one of my favorites of all time. And it's one of those movies that it bombed at the box office when it came out, but it's an amazing movie. It kind of shows that, box office doesn't equal a quality of a movie, I gotta say. And also, it was kind of cool seeing him, shoot the beam of, laser like he had in that one scene near the climax of the movie. And also, Mechagodzilla shows up.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah, and that Mechagodzilla wasn't from one of the Toho Godzilla movies. I think they kind of created their kind of own design. And it had the atomic breath like Godzilla, which is kind of weird because Mechagodzilla didn't have that.
Yeah.
I also noticed the Iron Giant shot lasers from its eyes, which the Iron Giant didn't do that in the movie.
It's a new thing.
Yeah, I guess I was waiting for the Iron Giant to go all the war machine kind of thing out with the helmet over the head and a bunch of the lasers shooting, go crazy in that. But, speaking of, I think there's a brief reference to the 50s War of the Worlds movie, which I thought was pretty cool, the retro one. Spielberg easily could have done the 2005 one, that
Nah.
people are going to be like, nah, we got to stick with the classic one that's more recognizable and arguably better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of funny, the villain's avatar. He kind of reminded me of a cross between, Clark Kent as Superman, Superman that, Clark
Yeah.
Kent, and also kind of M. Bison from the Street Fighter games. Just
Yeah,
kind
he's
of,
weird.
yeah, a weird thing. And also, the main female lead of the movie, she had kind of like a fish thing going on.
Yeah.
Do you remember that movie Fantasia, during the segment where they're going underwater, and there's like a little moment where we see these kind of, very feminine looking fish, and they're swimming around, and they're kind of pinkish purple?
Yeah.
It did remind me of that, like that design and such. But also, I love how there's different stickers of stuff. Like, we see like a Batman sticker, and Batman's in the movie too, by the way.
The classic Batmobile was in the race.
Yeah, the Adam West Batman Batmobile.
Cool.
That was funny. But also the one of the Asian guys has like a Mortal Kombat patch on, and we also have then there's a squeeze thing, like a ball, like the heads.
Oh yeah, what are those called? I don't even know what those are called.
I forgot. But yeah, I mean, I love how there's different references of weapons, especially the Holy Hand Grenade from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
That was good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, there's so many things to catch, and also I think there was briefly maybe the Wolfman from the Universal Monster movies. I don't know if it was the original with Lon Chaney Jr. or the remake with Benicio del Toro. Either way, I'm happy about that, just briefly, but yeah.
I noticed I don't think there was any Marvel characters, and it wouldn't surprise me because, like, I don't know if Disney wants to play nice. No Star Wars things in it, but there was reference of Millennium Falcon, and I heard a TIE fighter at one point. I didn't see it, but I heard it.
Yeah, didn't you say that was kind of funny that the villain of the movie mentioned the Millennium
He's
Falcon?
like, don't you want the Millennium Falcon? And I'm like, hey, he's the guy from Rogue One.
Yeah, kind of a funny fourth wall breaking a bit there. I do like how the movie did surprise me a few times, like when they tricked that one guy to think he's in his office still, but they're actually create a virtual reality. I'm like, oh, that's kind of smart.
It had Inception vibes to me, because like when they're in, like, it's similar to when they're dreaming in Inception, and then like stuff in the real world's affecting them. That's what it felt like, Inception, kind of.
Yeah, and also kind of the Matrix in a way.
Yeah.
Which, did that. Oh, speaking of, there's a lot of cool, like, posters that they made that reference other kind of classic movies.
Yeah.
Like The Goonies, The Iron Giant, The Matrix, even Labyrinth. Remember that one with David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly in that, which is interesting. But yeah, I thought it was a very visually pleasing movie. And also, in a way, if you think about it, it does have a good message of pretty much how, real life is also important too with video games such, and we should try to help, fix our real world instead of trying to escape the problems of it.
Yeah. The ending was, I actually thought it would end differently. I thought it was going to end with him actually hitting the button and being like, you know what, we got to get rid of the Oasis. I thought they were going to, but they kind of did like a half step where he's like, okay, on Tuesdays and Thursdays we won't do it.
I mean, I don't think there was really, I didn't get really much of that vibe. I don't think that's much of a spoiler, but...
No, for some reason I thought that's how it was going to end, but...
I mean, I don't think there was much of a hint in the movie that he was going to do that, or if there was like, this is a problem with the Oasis and that. But I thought, wasn't like his like grandma, not grandma, but his aunt's boyfriend or whatever, like his avatar in the video game was like from Warhammer?
Yeah, it looked like a Warhammer character.
Or StarCraft, one of those games.
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of interesting. Oh yeah, there's other slasher villains. We see Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and Chucky.
Chucky, of course. That was great.
Yeah, no, I've got a cousin who's a big fan of Chucky and that. She'll probably like that. I'm trying to think what else to bring up in the movie, but hey, what was the name of that assistant who's like the assassin woman for the villain of the movie?
Oh, I recognize her.
Wasn't she in Blade Runner 2049?
No, I thought that was her, but it's not. This lady?
Oh yeah, Hannah John Kamen.
She's actually in the new Ant-Man. She plays the villain in the new Ant-Man, apparently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what's kind of weird is that she did remind me of the villain in Blade Runner 2049. I mean, Blade Runner 4...
Yeah, 2049.
Okay, I wasn't so sure if I accidentally called it 29.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, just thought that was interesting what they did with it. But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny how they also played a part with like who's what in the real world. For example, I thought that was pretty good. The whole thing of one of them's like an 11-year-old boy,
Yeah.
and that like, why do I not tell you I'm a 11-year-old boy? Like, hi, I'm a 11-year-old boy. Kill me first. And then they're saying like, how do you know this one woman is actually a woman? Could be a 300-pound man in someone's basement, and name's Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I gotta say some problems I had with the movie. One was that I felt like there's a little bit too much nostalgia from the 80s, I think, with some of the music and fashion stuff. I felt like there should have been more of a balance of the 90s and kind of the 2000s in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice to see, like, Kingdom Hearts.
I think it's just because the author, that's when he grew up, so it's very heavily weighted to the 80s, but yeah, it would have made more sense. And I'm curious to know how much they had to take out from the book because of rights issues. Like, I'm sure there was a lot more, but I mean, they had to do what they had to do for the adaptation.
Yeah. What was it? But also, I felt like there were some mild kind of pacing issues in certain ways, and also the, currency of like different jobs and other stuff that was going on at the time. Also, the police don't show up until the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
There's all this, stuff happening, and the police are like, well, time to go. It's time to wrap it up. We show up at the end. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I basically had kind of the problems with the movie in itself. And, man, there's something else. I'm trying to remember what other problem I had with it. I just felt like certain characters could have been maybe developed a little bit more in certain ways.
Yeah.
And such. Like, I felt like Simon's Pegg character could have had a bit more screen time to
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
develop his kind of friendship and conflict with the creator of the Oasis in ways. But did you have any problems with this one, Luke?
Yeah, I agree with the pacing thing. I feel like it peaked at a certain point, and I was like, okay, the movie's probably gonna end like soon, but then it kept going like another like 20 or 30 minutes. So pacing, I think, was an issue, but I mean, they're really just nitpicks because it's just a fun movie to watch. But yeah, I mean, besides pacing, yeah, could have been more character development with certain characters, but overall, I had a really good time.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a very fun movie. We saw it in 3D only because of the fact that it was only convenient showtime, and I'm just hoping that other theaters aren't, trying to do this like Avatar. We're just gonna try to pump out as much cash as possible.
I thought the
and
3D was really good.
Yeah, me too. I did like it. It did enhance the experience in that they probably either filmed it in 3D or maybe they post-converted to 3D in a right way and such. So, what would you give this movie, Luke?
I thought it was just a solid, enjoyable movie. I think I would probably give it an 8 out of 10, just for a pure enjoyability factor.
Okay. I will say that so far, this is the best movie I've seen all year. I mean,
I agree with that, too.
I think 12 Strong and Pacific Rim Uprising were decent in certain ways, but I felt like this one were easily the best of the two. I mean, of all three of them put together. And I will say that this is definitely one of Steven Spielberg's better movies that he's made. I mean, Bridge of Spies was good, but also I will say that this is definitely better than the fourth Indiana Jones movie and War of the Worlds. I haven't seen... Oh yeah, and the VFG. I keep forgetting about that one. But, I mean, I haven't seen The Post, but I doubt it's going to top this one. I mean, I still think Jurassic Park and Schindler's List, one of those two, is his best movie.
Mm-hmm.
And also some of the Indiana Jones ones. So overall, I would give Ready Player One about 3 stars out of 4, which I think is, solid in that, in its own way. But yeah, I just, again, love all the references. I can't wait for this movie to come to home video so I can just press the pause button just to detect, like, everything that was referenced and all the other kind of characters that probably were in it. So, this is Tyler from End Credit Reviews.
And this is Luke from the passenger seat.
Yes, we hope to make a lot more of videos, and we hope to make a lot more in the future. Please like and subscribe, and Superman.